A nice early morning here, sunrise shining on the fields of Elm Creek. We're here on the Billionaire farm. Look at all these tractors, man. It is a beautiful day. It is 6:15. We got us some cotton growing in these fields, and we got some fertilizing to do today. We got a couple of fertilizer spreaders here at our disposal. I will just go ahead and get these filled up. Yesterday or last month, depending on how you look at things, we did plant several of our fields with grass after harvesting them of their oat. As you can see here, we have all 4 of our custom fields in the Spike, Oil Can, Sheep Alley, and Big Boy. They are all planted in grass, and I do believe all of them need to be fertilized today as well. It's a good thing we got a couple of solid fertilizer spreaders here. This one still needs a good amount of fertilizer to fill up. I can head on over to our brand new filling station. I'm gonna go ahead and get this guy started on the smaller fields over here. We'll be utilizing the AI, of course, as is tradition. We are in the wind down part of year 9. The vast majority of our harvesting and planting is behind us. At the same time, though, we obviously have another grass harvest coming soon. Maybe in another couple months or so, this will all be grown. In addition to that, also some nice cotton growing over there, as I mentioned. These guys are both growing cotton. They are slowly getting there, as well as Field 70 down here. Almost forgot we got that guy bought. Most of our recent funds have been diverted to land expansion, just buying up big old chunks of the map, and I think that's probably going to continue this next year. We are steadily heading towards a selling season. We got some clothes over there, man, at my tailor shop. While last year we made a ton of money, well over $1 million, I think we were over $2 million in total sale. We got a long ways to go to get to that $1 billion. Now, I forgot I have about 1,000 pallets over here of fertilizer. These were all from that air drill that I used in the last month. Just decided to dump that off before returning the lease. I'm thinking air cart is definitely going to be the way I want to go for the future, for planting that grass, for planting those grains. It seems like our main crops mostly, you know, are going to be that oat, going to be that grass rotation with the oat, in addition to the cotton that we have been pumping out. Because of that, I'll probably invest some of our future sale funds into getting some of that. There's several different pieces of equipment I actually do want to get. I think it's probably about time we got some of our tractors replaced. A lot of them are very, very old. Taking a quick look at the vehicle page, which I really haven't looked too much at. You can see the age of these. Look at the top ones here. These are our 3 tractors that we're using right there. All 3 are about 100 or over, which is kind of crazy. In addition to that, look at the working hours on some of these. That's pretty crazy. The tank tractor, of course, the Dutzfar, actually beating it out. You can see pretty much everything here that is in the red means it needs to be replaced. So it's probably something to sink a little bit of money into. I will probably just be leasing a lot of them and, you know, leasing to own, making payments on them. What's nice about that is I have needed a bit more horsepower on the farm just for running bigger and bigger implements as we get these gigantic custom fields. So it's a nice time to upgrade that. The good old Fent here is actually our only tractor that's over 500 horsepower. I'll probably be investing in nothing below 400 horsepower at this point. We're just running bigger and bigger equipment, and I don't really see a reason to downscale there. I like to be able to just kind of run everything with all my tractors, which I don't think we've ever been to that point. Just ignore those corners, by the way. I know that's ugly. Now, just getting started fertilizing this guy. It looks like the Dutzfar is already done, so that is nice. Look at the AI going on Oil Can over here. Sheep Alley is good to go. Just a little layer of fertilizer needed today, and that's really it, at least for the month. Last month, I did talk briefly about FS25, which will be the next game in the series. What's funny is, like, almost right after I made that video, or at least filmed everything, they actually announced it. They fully announced the release date and everything like that. What's funny is there are actually a few billboards on Elm Creek specifically advertising the game already. I thought that was a pretty funny little touch. If you haven't heard, the official release date is November 12th of 2024. Now, right now, it is just, you know, towards the end of June of 2024, so it's coming up pretty quick. Got a few months here, but not as much as you might think, or, you know, it's going to go pretty quick once we get into things here. I mentioned how that will impact this series specifically and just my channel in general. Definitely planning on making a lot of content for FS25. I'll probably be doing a number of things on launch day specifically. If there's interest for it, I'd even consider doing a live stream, just playing it like right as it releases. I used to actually stream quite a lot, but only on Twitch. This was prior to making a lot of YouTube videos. Just something I used to do for fun, playing a number of roguelikes usually, which is something I've considered doing, you know, making YouTube videos for on here. Maybe it's something I'll do someday, branch out to other games beyond Farming Simulator. Let me know if that's also something you're interested in. Always fun to try out new things, introduce new content. Just want to make sure it's something that people would actually enjoy and watch, all that business. But yeah, I might do one of those. I think it would be a pretty fun way to interact with everybody. Obviously, we'll be making a bunch of videos for it. I don't know if Broke to Billionaire in FS25 is something I want to jump into right away. Would like to get the lay of the land a little bit with the game. Now, as far as this series in FS22 goes, I'm hoping that we can get to at least a respectable point by the time the game releases, if not to $1 billion altogether. Now, maybe that's kind of a lofty goal. We'll just have to see. With this series in general, my plan is always just to make these videos as long as they're fun, as long as people are enjoying the series and tuning in and doing all the normal stuff, you know, like and subscribing, all those metrics. I'll keep making them, man. I have a good time making these. If I wasn't having fun doing it, I definitely wouldn't be making them, wouldn't be spending this much time just running these here tractors through the fields. But they are a lot of fun to make, and I'm glad everybody's been enjoying them. Definitely let me know what you would like to see when it comes to FS25 from me. As I said, I have a few plans, a few different series, probably just some starter farms and stuff like that. FS22 was my first introduction to the series, so I'm still relatively new, especially considering I only started earlier this year. I think I first launched the game in like January of 2024, and as I said, it's just shy of July right now of the same year. But with that in mind, going into the next one, I think I'm going to be able to hit the ground running a little bit more than I did with this one. We'll definitely be trying out all the new stuff, rice fields, the new animals. I think they said buffalo, or not buffalo, bison, water bison, that sort of thing. Going to Asia. I would love to get an Asian rice farm going, like literally day one. It's probably something I would do if I go ahead and stream the game. It might be a dual stream, might be something I do on Twitch and YouTube. I'll keep you guys further in the loop, but just kind of brainstorming since it's still a ways out, but I just get everything ready generally for it. Regardless, pretty excited about the release. Some people have been a little skeptical of the game, or like mixed reviews, which is pretty common when all they really talked about are a few of the features of the game and released, you know, like a cinematic about it. Generally though, I'm pretty excited. I think a lot of the changes they're making do look good. The way I understood it is some of the engine stuff is actually pretty new. I'm sure it won't be without its flaws, but at the same time, I think a lot of the changes they've made themselves look pretty good. Obviously, the new environments, new crops, stuff like that also look very fun. I'll definitely be talking about more of my specifics when it comes to my plans as we get closer and closer, but just wanted to talk about it now since it's so fresh. Everybody's excited about it. I'm really excited for it, and I hope you guys will stick around for those videos, for the series. Broke to Billionaire ain't going anywhere. As long as you guys are enjoying the series, I will be making these videos. I appreciate all the support thus far, and of course, if this is one of your first videos, if you aren't subscribed already, I just talked about a lot of my plans, man. You know that I'm going to be making a lot of content, so feel free to subscribe, like the videos, comments, all that sort of stuff. I appreciate it all a lot. And yeah, I'll be making a lot more of these. Now, while I'm yapping here, I did see the good old Dutzfar is done. Now we have Sheep Alley and Oil Can fully fertilized. We still need to hit the spike. It looks like this guy is running out of fertilizer a little bit. Just a quick little fill up over at our station over there, and then I will send him on over. Probably just get working on the spike. Should be able to cover it with one full load of fertilizer. That's the one downside inside of this fertilizer spreader compared to the one I'm using, the capacity is just wildly different. I've been really enjoying that bigger capacity, and it's kind of a trend I want to implement across my entire farm. Even things like the trailers, I've used the same ones for a long time. I mean, I only have one trailer right now. It's that crone over there. I have seen some other ones I've been meaning to use. I did lease out that little like lizard trailer, but I wasn't the biggest fan of that one. Just looked kind of off for what it was. Also, look at that. Bam! Instantly filled that up with $3,000 worth of fertilizer. But that's just the trend. Want to make things so they need to be refilled a little less, hold a little bit more, go a little bit faster, that sort of thing. I've had the experience of kind of clawing my way up. I think it was a pretty entertaining thing to do, especially considering I was so new to the game. I really had no idea what I was doing. You can tell if you go back to some of my first episodes, I'm really just figuring things out as I go. I don't really have a great idea of all the game's mechanics, what to do for this, what to do for that, but I think it's been a pretty good series for learning. Probably a really good one to watch if you're brand new to the series, or if you don't really know what's going on. You can kind of learn along with me. I feel like I know a decent amount now, but there's still a bunch of stuff I have absolutely zero experience on. I was just talking the other day in my Discord, which there is a link to join the community down below, but I was talking with somebody. They were talking about doing grapes, and I thought, man, I haven't ever done anything with any of the Vine products where it's, you know, grapes, oil. We'll have to see if I'm able to get into that. It's nothing that I've really wanted to do in this series specifically. Hey, could be something to do in FS25 as well. Now look at this big old field of cotton to my right, man. We are going to be doing some harvesting very soon. Once I'm done with fertilizing these fields, that's probably what I will just get right to. Getting a nice cotton harvester and getting all that cotton out the field. Have some ideas. I leased one out last year, and I'll probably just lease one out again this year, and we'll consider buying it long term. That is one thing I really do enjoy about the lease to own mod, is it lets me try out all these different implements and keep the ones I actually enjoy. Do have a big cotton harvester in mind already that I will probably be using. I'm excited to unveil that, but obviously that'll wait for the cotton to actually be grown. I believe it's October or so for the harvest, and we're in August right now, so we do have a few months there of everything processing. I feel like I am just so much slower than the AI doing this. I don't know why. Probably because they're just better at drawing their lines straight and not having to come back to clean up stuff like this. Although they don't care about missing stuff like this. I do. Then again, this is also my biggest field by far, and the biggest one on Elm Creek, as I like to mention every single time. This fertilizer spreader definitely makes quick work of these fields. I enjoy it quite a lot. Even though it is an absolutely massive field, it is just very nice to hit most of it, and you can see it really makes its capacity last. As I said, this is like the biggest field on Elm Creek, and we are barely scratching at how much fertilizer I have in the tank. It's a big old tank back there, able to spread the fertilizer and the lime. The lime was very, very handy. I'll definitely be making a lot of new fields either this next year or the year after, depending on how finances are looking. I'm not sure of the ordering here, but things that I do want to spend some of this next year's money on are just those new tractors I mentioned, some new land, some new trailers, and then start looking at things like harvesters. One of these years for the grass, I think I'm definitely going to be moving into the forage harvesting world. It's gonna be one of those things that makes things go a lot quicker than my mowing setup. I love my mowing setup right now. We're still gonna be doing some forage wagoning with all that straw. I don't think there's any other way around that. But when it comes to cutting the grass specifically, using a forage harvester and some big trailers, maybe like an auger wagon situation, I think that's going to be by far the easiest. One thing I definitely don't take advantage of enough in this game is using stuff like this little inside the tractor. I do love the first person view. Would be pretty neat to use the little screen there in front of me. It seems way off from the in-game HUD, so I don't know what's going on there. Now I gotta come back out to see the field here, so my GPS here, it just needs to be updated a little bit. Apparently it is quite a lot of fun fun driving through these nice big fields that I've created. I do love some big massive fields. That is kind of an American farm classic. They maybe missed the mark a little bit with the American maps in FS22 at least. I haven't played on the older maps, so I can't speak for those. I feel like in real life there are a lot of farms, at least in the US, getting into some of those kind of more remote states where it's really focused on farming. Some parts of the Midwest, you know, all the cornfields and stuff, where it is just massive acreage, like hundreds of acres. Now, my biggest field in Farming Sim, I think, is like 33 acres, and it is a good chunk of the map. And this is supposed to be the American map, so while it is a beautiful map, I like it a lot. It would be fun to have that sort of thing represented a bit more in Farming Simulator. They probably do a much better job with some of the European farms, or at least that's what I've heard. Makes sense because it is a European development company, and I have no complaints with how this map looks. It is really pretty. I like Elm Creek quite a lot. I hope the American map in Farming Sim 25 or multiple, I'm not sure. I assume just one, but I guess we'll see. Hope it's maybe a little bit more representative, but if it looks anything like Elm Creek, I will probably be happy. I mean, look at that. That's just pretty right there, man. That's just pretty. He's making slow but steady progress down there. This weird little thing right here is just an AI classic. I have no idea what they're doing, but hey, he's getting her done, so I can't complain too much. Now, speaking of which, we're getting very close to being done right now. Last couple passes here. It is a quick job with these excellent fertilizer spreaders. Wasting a little bit of fertilizer on that far side, but that is okay. We got it all calibrated to send us where we need to go. Making great progress though. Very happy with where we're at in the series. Granted, it did take quite a lot more episodes at least than I thought it might take. Now, part of that is just pacing per episode. If I wanted to, I could condense like 6 years into one episode, but I think that's maybe a little less interesting. Or it's something we'll do later on once they are looking a little more samey per year. Whatever's entertaining, but I do like the pacing as it is right now. I think it's pretty good to get a little bit of this, a little bit of that every episode. And sometimes it's nice to just get out in the field and do a bit of fertilizing, do a bit of harvesting, and just kind of chat with you guys, check in, see where we're at, talk about future stuff like a good old FS25. Very excited once again. I do hope I'll see you all there, whether it's just videos or it's just live streams, whatever. If the reception is good there, it could be a regular thing. I always enjoyed live streaming. When I did it, it was a pretty regular thing in my heyday, so I wouldn't mind getting back to that if it's something you guys enjoy. If there's just like a spattering of interest, that's no big deal to me, but figure it's something we could try out specifically for the launch. Have a bit of fun. Maybe a little bit of just a teaser. I'm not sure where we'll be at, but would definitely consider opening some community servers for the Taterman community for all you guys to play on. I could even have some sort of a series where I'm doing something or other on them fields on a community server, something we can all build together. I think that would be a lot of fun. If that's something you guys would like to see, let me know. Now, obviously just finished up on the big boy over there. As you can see, fully fertilized. Can come on down here, check in on this guy. Very strange progress, wasting a lot more fertilizer than me, but what else is new when it comes to the AI, I suppose? Probably just let this play out. We're very nearly done with August. One thing I've been very interested in is how our cotton is looking. It looks like we still have just an absolute ton of it. I think we will probably be upgrading this again before selling season comes. Now, one thing I did not discuss whatsoever when it comes to silage, I've definitely been thinking about getting the biogas plant. I kind of forgot that was a thing. We obviously make more than enough silage to make that a viable thing to consider. I might even just invest as early as next year. I think I'll wait. I'll play out this year, wait until we sell a bit more of our product, especially our silage, just because, you know, that ends up being our main crop every single year with these grass fields, with the straw that we we nab from all of our oat harvests. Now, it's very expensive, at least on Elm Creek. It is $1.5 million. Takes a bit to get your money back from investing on it, but at the same time, we could keep that thing fed all year long with how much silage we make. It's definitely of interest to me and would make a ton of money in the long term. That being said, everything is looking pretty good in terms of productions. We haven't had the flour backing up quite yet. It'll get there though. You can just tell from how this is filling up versus how much we're producing that we will fill things up. But yeah, I think August kind of winding down here, and we'll probably just be getting right back into things a little later this year once these nice cotton fields are looking ready to harvest, man. So yeah, I will see all of you there. Here in October of year 9, just past 8 a.m., it is harvest season for this beautiful cotton. As well as that, I was looking at our grass fields that we were fertilizing just a couple months ago. They are in ready to harvest too, so it is a big old harvest day. Should be our last one of the year. Gonna be doing a whole lot of mowing today, as well as our usual forage harvesting, all that goodness. Believe I will get the tank tractor going here. All of our tractors should be working today. Might even end up needing to borrow a tractor too. We're gonna be running 2 mowers, 2 forage wagons, and a bale loader for those cotton bales, as well as a new cotton harvester as well. Have my eye on a very solid, meaty John Deere cotton harvester that I'm very excited about using today. First things first though, we do have a big field of grass ready to be mowed and put into those wonderful, wonderful windrows. I do enjoy those quite a lot. Gonna put the Dutzfar on the other mower. I realize as I put the front mower in the back, that seems bad. Actually don't know if that really matters too much. I feel like it would still work. Everything's still mowing, right? It might just make the windrows look kind of weird, I suppose. Either way, we are not tempting fate. I will get this guy mowing at the same time. Probably worth it to just get the biggest ones covered first, so I'll send this down to the spike. Wait just a little bit on getting forage wagoning. I will probably get cotton harvesting first and then get the good old foraging started. A lot of cotton to harvest today. We obviously have our 2 fields at home to take care of, but in addition to that, we have a good old field 70 down here just filled to the brim with that cotton. This area is probably going to be next up for plowing together. I really like how flat it is. It's got a lot of fields and a lot of roads that I haven't been taking. Sounds to me like the perfect opportunity to make several big old fields. We will just take the little fun way here underneath the tracks. Yahoo! And look at that, we are at the spike. So getting this mowing going at the same time here. Should have it, yeah, everything's on windrows, so that will not be a problem. And look at that, should be done in no time. And then obviously big boy up here underway as well. Now the aforementioned cotton harvester here, the John Deere CS770, also comes with a header. I'll be getting that after that, but I just thought I'd show this bad boy off first before getting it. Pretty excited about it. It's very fast, lots of horsepower. We'll be able to cover the fields a bit quicker than the one we used last year. I think I'll probably give the twin wheels a try, but yeah, let's get this boy leased out. It is pretty expensive at 24 grand, but you know, we make so much off this cotton, man. And this might just be something I make payments on and keep for myself. Grab the good old header for it as well. It's nice and big. 10.5 meters, goes very fast. And look at these two. Now this thing looks pretty massive, but once you get it folded up, it definitely is a lot smaller, or more compact at least. What's nice is this header is pretty big, but it does fold up, so moving this thing around is pretty easy. I don't think you should ever need a header trailer for this. It's really not too wide. I mean, it sticks out a little bit, but nothing that crazy. I'll also be leasing a bale loader for the bales we're going to be dropping. But you can see it looks a little more, you know, traditional harvester here, or cotton cotton harvester. They're always nice and like compact little things there. They're like a tank, you know. But yeah, I turned it on here. Can handle a lot of rows at the same time, as you can see, and we're just gonna get this started. You can see this thing goes pretty fast, which is very nice. A lot of horsepower, and this header's really efficient, so pretty snazzy stuff. We should be able to make quick progress today. The amount of money we can make just off of the mowing harvest that we're doing, as well as all this cotton, is just gonna be pretty crazy. Look at that farm. It is looking pretty good. I am seeing a lot of equipment that I do want to replace. I like having 2 harvesters. I think it makes the harvest over the summer go a lot quicker of our oat. That being said, that Kloss over there is pretty outmatched for everything that I'm doing these days. Considering even selling it just to give us a bit of extra money, but it does have its uses. It's good for the smaller fields while we send bigger harvesters on the big fields. It's just way too small of a harvester to handle those big fields in the meantime, though. But we are really just flying down the field here. The one fun thing about cotton harvesters is it is obviously a row crop, cotton that is, but you can just kind of line up each row with the row on your header, kind of similar to how you would harvest corn. But it makes harvesting this a lot easier with or without GPS, really. Obviously GPS speeds things up a little bit on straightening things out, so I will not complain about that. I will complain about this fence back here. This has been the bane of my existence ever since I started this series, just because this field, man, this needs a little more room around the outside. Probably means I should just do another headland pass, but when have I ever decided to do that instead of just complaining? It's a hallmark of the series at this point, and you can see each row is just being fed into the teeth of the harvester. I like cotton harvesting quite a lot. It's pretty cool. I'm glad I decided to move into this. It was a suggestion for a long time. I'm liking this harvester a lot too. It obviously is very fast, about the same capacity. That's one thing you're not going to get a lot of variation on in terms of cotton harvesters. As long as you're doing the, you know, standard bale sizes, like you're not doing anything crazy. You're not doing like 1,000,000 liter bales. You know, obviously that's going to change things, but if you're doing the standard bale sizes, especially for round, it's going to be about the same. I think it's like 10,000 or so liters per bale. So the capacity doesn't matter as much for cotton harvesters, just because you're spitting out bales the whole time anyways. Now this one, I think it was right around 11 meters wide for the header itself. Also, are we dropping the first one off the course? That is cursed. But yeah, first bale there. That's pretty exciting. First of many on the day. As I said, very happy to be in cotton these days. I really like the production chain as well. It might be one of my favorites in the entire game. I like making bread and all that sort of stuff, but you gotta love something that just makes a ton of money and uses some pretty unique equipment. Also, I'm gonna need to go ahead and get that little bit of cotton over there. Can't be leaving no cotton on the field, man. All of this needs to be made into some wonderful clothing. Who else is gonna provide all the farmers of Elm Creek their drippy clothes, man? I mean, look at me in there. You want to look like that, right? Buy from the Tater Man Tailor Shop. I'm enjoying how this thing is just flying down the field. That's one aspect of cotton harvesting I love a lot. It's just continuous. You can just drop them bales right on the field, worry about picking them up later. You don't need to stop and offload. A lot of real life harvests are pretty good about never stopping either. They got a continuous supply of, you know, either the same trailer offloading them or just a steady supply of multiple trailers offloading. So there's a lot more on the go offloading, and that is something you can do in Farming Simulator, obviously. But still, I feel like it's a little more segmented in Farming Simulator than it is in real life, where they can really keep that thing going all day because they know it is pretty expensive the whole time they have that combine out in the field. They need to get that stuff out the ground while the getting's good. Can't be wasting no money on the farm, man. Now, speaking of which, look at that second bale right next to the tailoring shop. We're getting pretty close to filling up all the pallets there. Wish it had a little bit more storage, but that is a-okay. Very, very good problem to have, to be producing too much of your main selling product, or your highest price product. And those clothes are definitely that for me. Shared my plans a little bit for Farming Sim 25. I'm pretty excited about the release. It's gonna be a fun game. I obviously, you know, play some other games. I'm excited for some other releases later this year as well. Big one that I haven't really ever talked about on the channel is I am a dirty degenerate, meaning that I do play some MMOs. I like playing World of Warcraft quite a lot. I have a few friends on there. It is just one of those games that is a lot of fun with friends, as most games are. Most games are improved by playing with your friends. Very different than Farming Simulator, although, you know, it kind of does have a similar audience, similar age demographic playing both games. But speaking about World of Warcraft specifically, it does have a big expansion releasing, I believe, in August. So pretty excited to play that. If that is something you might be interested in seeing on the channel, I've considered making a little bit of content for it, just some like bonus videos here and there, you know. It wouldn't be anything that would replace my regular content, but just things I'm interested in. I enjoy playing, so I'll be playing it regardless of whether I'm making videos or not for it. But hey, if you're out there, if you're a fan of that sort of content, let me know and I will make it. I will just be doing it in addition to Farming Simulator on the channel. Definitely won't be replacing anything if I do. But lots of ideas on the horizon, lots of fun stuff to be excited for. It's a good time to be gaming. I'm excited, at least. Now, in Farming Simulator, we obviously just finished up first field. We'll just get started here on the second one. It's been a while since I have handled a harvester so thoroughly on my own. The AI is behaving very well today, so I haven't needed to worry about it too much, which is very nice. It is it's a nice problem to have, where I can kind of just work uninterrupted here. It's fun running these harvesters. Harvesting is always one of my favorite parts. I obviously love bale loading as well. Some of my favorite stuff, so it's obviously very satisfying to be running something that creates the biggest bales in the game. I'll probably hand off the reins here at some point just so I can get bale loading, and I assume the AI are probably getting very close to being done with mowing on those big fields. We obviously have some other smaller fields to mow as well. Now, one thing I did want to take a look at here for our cotton specifically is how much we had left over from last year. We obviously left like 6 more bales there, and that's going to be the case again this year. I'm going to go ahead and get this guy upgraded again today, I believe, because we already have 200,000 liters in there and we're actively harvesting right now. I don't want to drop, you know, 20 more bales just sitting outside. It would be nice to have the room for them and the processing power to just take care of them in a full year. In terms of debt, we are still over $1 million in debt. Our cap is somewhere in the like $2.5 million range though, so I'm really not sweating this. I'll probably be taking out a lot more money before getting that down to zero. I'm gonna be honest with you. So yeah, all this to say, I'm taking out some more money. I'm going to upgrade the spinnery and the tailor shop, I believe. So we'll just start here. Spinnery time. It's very obvious it needs a little bit more love for how much we're making here. And then on top of that, definitely gonna need a little bit more here. 130,000 for the tailor shop, but yeah, it is getting up there. As we get closer and closer to, you know, the end game of the series and what I consider the end, I definitely consider assets in terms of like my valuation of $1 billion. It'd be nice to hit that big $1 billion in the top right, although I think it does max out. Like literally the maximum amount of money that you can have in your bank account is $999 million. So you can never truly have $1 billion in your account, which technically makes this challenge impossible. So I'm calling it here. Okay, I'm not actually calling it here. It's totally fine. But yeah, somebody asked me about this the other day about how I consider myself at that $1 billion, if it's just that raw monetary amount or how much my net worth is basically. I think the net worth does make a lot of sense. I don't know how easy that is to calculate in Farming Sim. In terms of land, it's pretty easy to just look at everything that I own and add it up. Can do the same with my equipment. can go through, I guess, what it's currently worth, even though they really lowball you of your equipment worth. Like, as soon as you buy something, let's say it costs like $700,000, the second that you buy it and get into that, you know, tractor, harvester, whatever, it goes down by like 40%, which, granted, I mean, you know, you get a brand new car, that's basically how it works in real life. I'm not sure that completely extends to farming equipment. Thought I'd do a little check-in. We are doing pretty well here. The tank tractor working his way across the big boy. It is a very big field. It takes a long time to mow, even more time to forage. Now, speaking of big fields, here's the Dutes Far, and I've made a very unfortunate discovery I somehow didn't notice. He is a little underpowered to run these mowers. This is a pretty massive waste of time. I'm gonna get the Fent out here and swap them out. But yeah, very unfortunate right here. Just now noticed this. Been yapping and cotton harvesting, so not too happy about that. The 5 miles per hour mowing, one of the biggest fields on the entire map. All right, got here with the Fent. I'm gonna go ahead and dismiss the poor Dutes Far. Perfect example of why I need to get these guys replaced. I totally forgot he just does not have the horsepower to run these mowers. Now the Fent, I believe I'll be sticking with this guy long term. I've owned it for quite a while, or by own it I mean I leased it out, basically been making payments on it. I don't see any reason to get rid of it. There are some actually bigger tractors that I have been looking at. Would be nice to have a bit more horsepower, a bit faster, especially than some of these like the Dutes Far. Little small, a little slow, you know, all the regular reasons you want to upgrade. So can get to the Dutes Far started right away on foraging, and then obviously this guy right here will get him back on mowing and going into the actual max speed for these mowers. Instead of just like 5 miles per hour. Yeah, it tends to go a little bit faster when you can go 15 miles per hour instead of 5. The Massey Ferguson up here starting foraging. This is obviously going to take a while. I'll probably get another tractor with our old forage wagon to assist with this. Have this old John Deere that I've borrowed from one of my farmer friends. I'll send him on up to Big Boy to help with that. Now, one thing I do need to do is get the sheep here some more food. They haven't run out completely. There's still a few bales kicking around, but they have worked their way through them. I have to think about how I could make that a bit more economical. It is the one downside of the base game barns for the sheep, is they're not like huge. It'd be nice to be a little more hands-off with it. I mean, it's pretty easy to just toss some bales on there or whatever, you know, but at the same time, you know, any sort of micromanagement I have to do is the tiniest bit annoying. Got Big Boy being mowed and foraged by 2 different vehicles. We got that John Deere out here with the forage wagon, as well as the Massey Ferguson over there. Our biggest field just needing a little extra help. And of course, I was bragging about how little help the AI needed today, and then completely paused the harvest to go take care of them. Still pretty happy with our progress. Pretty happy with the level of hands-offness I have with several of these fields. I mean, if you think about it, a lot of these forage harvests are near fully automated. I really don't need to do too much. I just get the AI started on mowing and then on foraging, and they'll handle it from there. I don't even need to touch it. The only issue is if I have multiple tractors on the same field, which I do a lot of, they can sometimes just run into each other. That is something that AI love to do. But as you guys know, I do love a good automated harvest. Makes things a lot easier when you got some solid farm hands to handle the different fields. If a farmer owned this much acreage spread out over the course of a whole town, he definitely would not be handling the harvest and collection of the product on his own. So to have fields that are fully taken care of by my farm hands is very nice. And I pay him an honest wage, man. You don't gotta worry. I know everybody worries. You don't gotta worry. Something that might be a little fun here, bring it on over from the potato series where I did at least one per episode, which I doubt I'll do more than that, but doing a little bit of time lapse, doing a little bit of harvest time lapse. If you aren't a big fan of time lapse, I will have it in a chapter below, so don't worry too much. I will be coming back shortly, but enjoy the harvest. You guys earned it. Big boy here is fully mowed. The awesome stuff. I do love all the windrows. It is slowly, ever so slowly getting foraged up. We'll get her done. I got a couple of smaller fields to get mowed up here, just oil can and sheep alley, and we are getting started on our very last cotton field. So with this field also now being harvested, I'll probably put an AI on this guy because we got some bale loading to do. For bale loading, I saw that there was a pretty fancy version of the bale loader I was using. It actually holds 5 bales. So I'm going to give that one a whirl today, see if it works out nicely. Might be a disaster, but we shall see. Using old Leroy's tractor here for this. Hey, if I get the field done, I can use his tractors however I want, man. Basically the same thing as the one we used last time, but just a little bit bigger, holds more bales. And come on, man, bale loading is probably the best job on the farm. You gotta love it. I love seeing it pick up them bales and just scoot them back. Pretty awesome piece of technology in real life too. I like watching videos of bale loaders sometimes, I'll be honest with y'all. Oh, well, we got a lot more bales than I thought out of this guy, huh? Got what, 7 bales total right now? And I have an AI working on field 70 while I handle this. But the nice part is this is actually a job I could hand off to AI as well if I so desire. October starting to get a little winded down here, collecting our product, all of our lovely, lovely cotton. I'm gonna get these guys up to the newly upgraded spinnery, get them all dropped off. A very lovely fall day to be driving through Elm Creek. I appreciate y'all a whole lot for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please give me a like. It means a whole lot, helps the channel a whole lot as well. If you aren't subscribed already, please consider subscribing. A lot more Farming Sim 22 and 25 videos on the way. Appreciate y'all, and I hope to see you in the next one. More harvesting, more planting, all that good stuff, man. On the way to $1 billion. All right, see y'all next time. Bye-bye.